Hey, this is Matt from InvestiQuant. Today is Monday, January 4th, 2020. And today we are seeing a massive sell-off in the markets. We saw a gap up this morning and we have trended lower off the open. Throughout the session, we've got massive ranges taking place and very weak price action opening near the highs and trading near the bottom portions of the range as the day continues to develop. So what I want to do this afternoon is take a look at this extremely weak price action as we approach the close. So let me go into Discover. I'm going to select all four instruments, and we're going to look at a setup that enters the market at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and it'll exit the market at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, what I want to focus on in this study that we're going to look at is based upon price action and range. We have huge range taking place. In fact, the ES currently has 107 points of range, which is about 4 times what it's been averaging. So we're going to use this intraday range size relative to the 10-day average, and I'm going to use the largest option available, which is greater than 150% of the 10-day average range, which is going to be the 10-day average of the range that's taken place within that time frame. And then I'm going to use the price action that we're seeing. So this morning we opened up near the highs, but to be a little bit less selective, I'm going to say that we opened in the top 25% of the intraday range. We actually opened in the top 10, but this will just allow us to get a few more samples. And then I'm going to say the intraday close versus the intraday range is in the bottom 25% of the intraday range. So let me come down here to the bottom, hit equals next to close in the bottom 25% of the intraday range. This will create a price pattern where if you looked at the daily candlestick, you'd have a small wick up at the top of the red candlestick and a small wick or no wick. It could be something like that where you're trading somewhere around the lows. So you got a big red body on the daily candlestick that is forming. Next, I'm going to go into indicators and put us in a similar market environment. We're coming off all-time highs here, so I'm going to use above a 10 and above a 200 just to make sure it knows it's in a stronger bullish market environment. Then I can click View Results. And here we go. These are the results of going long at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, exiting at the close 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time. When you're in a bullish market environment, which I've defined as above a 10 and above a 200-day simple moving average, and then you're getting a directional day with very high range taking place in that day. So you're opening near the top of the range, the 3 p.m. price is near the bottom of the range, and you have more range than what you've been averaging over the past 10 days by at least 50%. So heavy range and strong direction taking place to the downside. Historically, this pattern has 74 samples in the S&P. It's got 80 samples in the NASDAQ, 68 in the Dow, and 70 in the Russell. So we got pretty good sample sizes for all of them here. If we look at the win rates on them, all of the win rates are coming in less than 50%. The ES coming in at 46%, the NASDAQ 46%, the Dow 48.5%, and Russell coming in just under 43%. So all of these a little bit weaker on the win rate, which means a little bit of a tendency to close below that 3 p.m. price versus closing above it. And then if we look at the average win to average loss, the average loss is a good size larger than the average win in the S&P. They're pretty similar in size for the NASDAQ. It's a decent size larger for the average loss compared to the average win in the Dow. And then the Russell, the average loss, just a little bit bigger than the average win. So what we're seeing here when you kind of look at everything as a whole is they're all just slightly leaning to the downside as far as win rates go. And if you average up the average wins and average losses, they have had larger losses on average compared to their average wins. So a little bit of a bearish lean on this pattern as we approach the close. Hopefully you found this helpful. Good luck, and we will see you next time.